welcome to Blackfeather Guild. Before we go in and say hi to the cast and get started with the show, I wanted to talk very briefly about viewer actions and a little bit about sponsors. So first off, there's a number of ways that you can actually actively participate in the show through viewer actions. One of the easiest ways to do so is through retweeting the game tweet. You should see that somewhere in chat if it's not in there already. But you just click on that link and hit retweet, and for every 5 retweets that we get on that, it will add a bonus to the cast pool and the game master pool. Now, in most cases, that's going to be an extra d6 that they can add on to any roll. Basically, a great way to use that is if a player is almost meeting a DC, but they're just not quite there, they can grab one of those d6s from the cast pool, roll that, and then add that to their roll. Basically, is how that works. Same with the GM. So that's one of the easiest ways that you can participate that way. Another way is through guild coins. That's our Twitch channel points. If you look at the rainbow colored icon, it should have the Blackfeather Guild crest on it. It should be right below your Twitch chat box. If you click on that, it'll show you all the different things that you can get with those. The biggest one being plot points. Now, plot points, you can see an example right over here. They all work pretty much the same way. It's just a matter of how big of an impact they have. So for the example, when we've got 2 plot points, the player of your choice gets something moderately helpful or unhelpful. Enter any suggestions for the GM into chat, or you can have the GM come up with something entirely on their own. So just choose if you want it to be helpful or unhelpful to the party, and that's kind of how you can use them. You can throw in your own suggestions as well. How those work: 1 plot point is something trivially helpful or unhelpful. 2 is moderately. 3 is very, and 4 is very to the entire party. So if you want to do something to help the entire party or really throw a monkey wrench in their plans, 4 plot points will do that. So that's guild coins. And then finally, we've got donations. So if you want to help out with keeping the lights on in the place, so to speak, there's a number of ways that you can financially contribute. One of those being coffee.com/Raven or raven.rocks. You can see both of those examples down there at the bottom. Those are the addresses to do direct donations. You can also do Twitch subscriptions or bits. Those work the same way. And then finally, Patreon. We've got a Patreon, which you should see in chat here any second if it's not there already. And our Bard tier patrons and higher get credits towards viewer actions every month that they can use on any show that they would like. You just have to let us know in chat how you want to spend those, and then we'll hand those out. So some very cool stuff. Before we hop over to see the cast, one last thing to mention is a couple things on this chart here. We've already covered the D6 and the plot points, but the triple crits, what that means is you can gift auto critical successes. And you can, it's triple because you get 3. You can divvy those out however you'd like. You can do 2 to the cast, 1 to the game master, all of them to the game master, however you want to do it. So they work much like the D6s. The cast members just grab that when they're available and they really need them and use them. So it's pretty cool. And then finally, the last one, introduce an ally or enemy NPC. Just give us a brief description of what you want this character to look like, kind of their character concept and a name, and let us know if you want it to be an enemy or an ally to the party, and the GM will basically take that and run with it. So really cool ways that you can participate. Lastly, I just want to take a quick moment to mention our sponsors. If you look at the logos down below, that's who's sponsoring this episode, and we'll talk a little bit about that before we introduce everybody as well on the next scene. So yeah, check all this stuff out and thank them for supporting us, and thank you for being here and watching. Let's go say hi to the cast. Hey everybody, we are back. Sorry for the wait. We're going to jump right into it. I'm going to let everybody introduce themselves and then we'll pass it on to Vanessa. Starting with me, I play Niklaus, also Klaus, sort of Niklaus's alter ego. Um, Niklaus is a very well educated rich doctor who's um, low key a villain. And then Klaus is sort of a homicidal Joker type character who's high key a villain. Um, so that's who I play. Uh, I'm not the villain of the piece, but I do play a villain. And then I'm Raven. I'm the creative director for the Raven Evermore, which involves tons of things involving tabletop and things like that. You can find out all about what I do at my social profiles, Patreon, Coffee, portfolio, all of that's in my link tree right there in chat. I will go ahead and pass it on down to Yaz. Tell us about yourself and Bambi.
Hi, I'm Yaz. I am a graphic illustrator and traditional artist. We've talked about so many things already that I'm like, what am I? I play Bambi Darling, who is essentially at its core a washed up starlet who lives in her glory days and sleeps with all the wrong people.
Uh-oh.
Calling myself out.
Oh, that's funny. Um, Next, let's toss it on over to Rowan. Tell us about Pepper Ann and yourself.
Hi, I'm Rowan North. I'm a freelance illustrator and art educator. You can find all my stuff at rowannorthillustrations.org. I have a sale that ends tomorrow where it's 10% off of everything. I started adding my watercolors that I hand make to the store in single little thingies. Getting ready for the holidays, so please check it out. I play Pepper Ann. Pepper, she is kind of a sheltered child that grew up the wealthy side of Exodus, and she she had a difficult upbringing where she was prone to escapism, and now we get to see what happens when someone's escapism is actually mixed with actual insanity caused by the cane. So she sees things that are not reality, and yeah.
Awesome. Next, we've got Riley. Tell us a little bit about Sid and yourself.
Hello, I'm Riley. I am a knit and crochet and fiber artist slash teacher, kind of all the things. I am the fiber bard. That's what you need to know. I do a little bit of it all. I play Sid. Sid is, I guess, like the Mr. Shmee to Niklaus's Captain Hook, like not like just kind of like morally ambiguous and just kind of like does what they're told, and is sometimes a little bit endearing because they're the child of the group. They're 16, so it's like, okay, yeah, like okay. So not as goofy, I wouldn't say, as Mr. Shmee, but a little bit of endearing and like the moral ambiguity, I'll do what you tell me, Captain Hook type thing. But I just recently updated my website, and I also just launched Fiberbard, which is the sub-brand underneath Ariely Knits, in which I sell already handmade, like made items. In there, there's actually, so if you want to check it out, the logo actually was designed by Raven, and then I have some stickers in the shop that were designed by Yaz. So it's all great stuff.
Awesome. And then last but not least, Vanessa, tell us a little bit about you and take it away.
Hi, I'm Vanessa. I am the GM for Exodus. I am a traditional artist. I work primarily in pencil sketch and watercolor. And then recently this year, I've been doing more digital stuff as well. I play everybody else in Exodus, but mainly Anastasia Petrova, who is the kind of started out as the guiding light of the party, as she was the one to bring Niklaus and Sid from topside. But things have kind of gotten a little out of her control. She did not anticipate the party being as full of absolute nuts as it turned out to be. So she's more struggling her way through that the whole situation at this point.
I'm sorry we didn't put the warning label on the party that says caution may contain nuts.
Yeah, you know what? If she had an allergy, you guys would be in trouble. But thankfully, she does not have a nut allergy, so you guys are in the clear for now. For now. Last session, we ended in Hephaestus Forge. You guys had to make your way down there. After finding that the trams were offline, you passed through the fisheries and took the, I guess, what is essentially a service bathysphere. It's the bathysphere that mainly workers took from the fisheries to the forge. It was rarely used by people of the city. It was more so like an access route for employees. So you guys took that down to the forge, and you came to kind of like the main lobby, I guess, of the power plant, where you ran into two splicers who were promptly taken care of and set on fire, if I remember correctly. Shout out to Sid. You guys were making your way further into the maze of pieces of the forge when Klaus saw movement through some portholes and decided to turn around and go back into the empty room, which turned out to have another splicer in it. But at that point, it wasn't Niklaus anymore. It was straight up Klaus. And in that session, I learned my lesson that if I don't want you guys to turn around, then I shouldn't mention things that move, because Klaus has the attention span of a golden retriever and will go squirrel and turn around. So I've learned that lesson. So that was great. Yeah, thank you.
You said
GM.
You said movement, and I heard Chekhov's gun, so of course I had to go check it out.
Yes. Fortunately and unfortunately for me, I learned a lesson as a first-time GM. So I'll keep that in mind going forward. But we made the joke that it took us 3 hours to stay in the same spot, which is essentially true. You guys are finally moving forward into the forge, into the power plant, and that's where we left off. We were going down one of the main tunnels, and Anastasia did not hear anything in front of her. You guys came to a gated doorway. And upon entering or beginning to enter this room, there were people waiting on either side of the door that simultaneously made a grab for Anastasia. Fortunately enough, both Niklaus and Pepper were fast enough to grab a hold of her and pull her back out of danger. She got some little scrapes and stuff like that, but nothing too major. And you guys are now faced with two splicers waiting on the inside of the door, and that's where we're going to pick up today. So right off the bat, I'm going to get you guys to I guess roll for turn order, and we'll go from there. So it's just a straight up D20.
Okie dokie.
Straight up D20 or swiftness.
Are you okay? Are you okay?
Just give me a
Started off
D20.
great.
Okay.
13.
4.
I'll type that in here. Actually, that's not bad. 19, yeah.
I've got to open my
Pepper, you said what?
13.
13.
I put that in chat as well.
Okay, and Bambi,
I got a 19.
a 19. Niklaus,
I got a 4.
God love you. You used up your swiftness helping Anastasia apparently.
Yep.
And then Sid.
I barely did better than Niklaus. 5.
Woo, okay, now let me see what our splicers are doing.
Oh. Were we supposed to add swiftness?
No,
No,
just
it was straight up.
I was so confused for a second. Go on.
Straight up now, tell me, do you really want to love?
I have not
Oh,
heard
oh,
that
oh.
song in so long.
Kind of
That's a
makes
good
me want to
one.
pull out like 2008 American Idol on the Wii.
Oh God.
Okay, so we've got an interesting turn order. Okay, so once you guys pull Anastasia out of the way, you know, she's got those fingers grasping at the sides of her arms, but you guys are fast enough to kind of pull her back out of the way. Her arms are ripped out of the grip of these splicers who aren't quite fast enough to get a solid hold on her. Now, keep in mind two things before we go forward. One, you guys are in a hallway. It's rather narrow. So be mindful of your movement because that could be an issue. But if you were forgetting about it, unaware from last session, there's also an alarm blaring overhead.
How
So
could I
one-
forget?
Yeah, once you guys basically Penelope gave her spiel. Once that happened, the alarm started being set off. So you have what is essentially red lights flashing within the rooms of the forge, and a very high-pitched alarm is sounding. So Anastasia is actually the first one to grab her bearings while you guys are pulling her back out of the way. She immediately pulls out her pistol. The two splicers have not moved their way into the hallway. They are still in the room. Right off the bat, it doesn't look like they're advancing on you guys, but you do hear them laughing, like just this really high-pitched, hysterical laughter as you actually watch as their hands kind of slowly retreat from the door frame. You see their hands passing by the grates, and they kind of like
Hyenas!
yeah, pretty much. That's kind of the vibe you get. Like you watch as their fingers like touch against the rungs of the metal grate and like slowly disappear off the sides of the doorway, like touching each rung very specifically as they laugh. And then the laughter starts to fade a little bit, so you get the idea that they are retreating a little bit. Anastasia, all she does is pull out her gun right away. Obviously, with the confined space and with them retreating, she does not fire, but she essentially uses her turn to ready herself. She gets into kind of like a defensive stance, very, very cautious, kind of curses herself under her breath in Russian. And you kind of get the sense that she's pissed off with herself for not paying more attention. Bambi, what do you do when you see these splicers retreating?
I have a couple questions. So this
Yeah.
doorway, is this an offshoot of the hallway that we've been moving down, or is this the only way we can go?
This is the only way that you can go. This is the connection between the last room and the room going forward.
Okay. Bambi is going to begin to sing. She is going to use her last use of her cane. I don't have a song loaded up just yet. I've let you all down. But she will begin to sing.
Okay. So
as she
because
moves
these
forward.
because these figures are retreating and you haven't gotten your bearings in the room yet, I'm going to roll for swiftness against you on this one occasion just because you haven't taken your bearings of the room yet. You don't know where they are within your range. So let me see. And let's see what we get. 13, that's a 16 and 17. So I'm going to get you to roll a swiftness as well for me, please. Because
Okay.
you want to see how fast you are to get the jump on them while you begin to sing. And we're going to roll swiftness for them to see how fast they can catch on and move out of the way. Move out of your range.
21.
21. You can have your pick. Which would you like to focus on first?
The meaner looking one.
The meaner looking one. Okay, so the meaner looking one is a gentleman. You kind of get the sense that even before he became a splicer and kind of deformed and melty looking, this guy was not particularly a looker. Like, he's of average height. He just, you get the feeling, there's a sense in you that this gentleman was not anything special.
Can I sing a command at him, or do I just enthrall him?
Good question. Right now we'll just enthrall.
Okay.
And
Sounds
then
good.
next turn we can see what we can do with that. But yeah, he's within your range. You start to sing, and he kind of gets that groggy look about him, that glazed over expression that you are very familiar with every time you sing at an enemy, where his movements get very sluggish and his feet kind of lift very slowly as he retreats. And he is caught up in your thrall. The other gentleman who is in the room with him, who is also retreating, who is still laughing, his laughter cuts off very abruptly. He looks at his partner with a very confused expression, from what you can tell, and then looks between you and looks between his partner and then you and then his partner, as if he's very, very slow to kind of figure out what's happening. Pepper, what would you like to do?
Oh boy. So yeah, they are close at hand, so probably using my elephant gun is a bad idea. There's one guy that's thralled, one guy that isn't.
Yes.
Stop falling over. Sorry, I'm getting paint all over. Okay.
So the guy who's enthralled is on the left-hand side of the room, retreating, and then the other gentleman is on the right-hand side.
I would like to herd them with the borzoi.
Okay.
Do I have? This is more of a specific thing, so should I use man's best friend?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay. So this is my last use for now, but I do have able in a hand. So what do I roll for that again? I don't have
so
to roll.
kind of describe me exactly what you're looking to do here, and I'll tell you what to roll.
So, they're kind of doing the sheep herding thing. So basically, these guys are trying to retreat. Who knows where? One's caught. One's still kind of retreating. Basically, she wants both of the dogs to kind of move and try to get them to move back towards them. Or at least
Back
the
to-
one that isn't enthralled.
Back towards them, as in
Towards
closer
us.
to the party? Okay.
Yes. So that we can see where they are and deal with them accordingly.
Okay. I'm going to get you to roll skillfulness for both of your dogs.
Mhm.
And I want you to tell me before you roll which one you're rolling for. So we have one gentleman that's enthralled and has limited movement, and then the other is free.
Okay, so first is Artemis.
Yeah.
20 for Artemis.
Okay.
Next is Herney. 17. And
Okay.
that's not with the pluses. So 22 with skillfulness and 19 with skillfulness for them. So I can actually type that out. But Artemis got a nat 20, so.
Okay. Let me see. So which dog is going to which side?
So Artemis, I imagine, will go this way. They're more interested in the one that is clearly not enthralled. while Herney's kind of, I think they would move together and then kind of break off behind them, basically, and just bark and try to get them, like, start scooting them forward.
Yeah, so your first dog, so Artemis got the nat 20, right?
Yes.
So Artemis moves towards the splicer on the right-hand side, kind of does the herding motion, trying to get this guy exactly where he needs to be. Successfully so, absolutely, not a hitch. The splicer kind of forgets about the party for just a moment and is like trying to deal with this dog where he's like swatting at it and trying to beat it back with, you know, whatever metal pipe, let's say, that he has in his hands, and he's just swinging wildly and not really making any hits or anything like that, but he's completely focused on that, and the dog is able to maneuver him perfectly fine. There's no hitch. Herney, on the other hand, despite the fact that this guy is clearly enthralled by Bambi, is having a bit of a harder time. He seems a little more stubborn, despite his slow movement. Where the dog is trying to herd him. And first of all, there is the slowness of his movements. Like, he's clearly not functioning at normal capacity, so the movement is slow going. But he's trying to struggle against that brain fog that he has because of Bambi's plasmid, while also like sluggishly trying to like swat away this dog. So it's not that it's not working, it's just that it's a lot slower going than Artemis's job over on the right side.
That's fine.
Yeah.
This is the easier one, so you know, Herney is not worried about getting hurt as much as Artemis, so it's good that Artemis is kind of on the ball. So
yeah, it's weird because I rolled a 19 to match for the splicer. Which I was not expecting, because obviously he is partially incapacitated. But yeah, so the two splicers are starting to move back towards the party again. So good job, doggos.
yay!
Yeah, doggos.
So Mr. Splicer 2, let's see what he does. So the gentleman who is under Bambi's spell, he's going to try and break free of that. Bambi, did we ever discuss never mind. I answered my own question. That's fine. He's not quite able to make it out of your thrall yet, so he continues to move towards the party without incident, still more focused on the dog than anything else, so there's no current threat from him. As for the other guy, he couldn't be easier to herd. Like, he's coming towards you guys really fast. The dog is doing an excellent job, and he doesn't have any time to really do much of anything because he's focused on this doggo. All right, Sid, what would you like to do?
Everybody's in front of me, right?
Yeah,
Except
I
for
think you were
maybe
closer to the
Nicholas?
back.
Mm-hmm. Huh. Sid is just going to observe. Specifically, Niklaus.
Okay. And
Okay.
Niklaus, what are you gonna do here?
So, just making sure I'm on the same page. So, one of the dogs has herded one of the splicers. Where exactly?
Forward
So-
towards us into the door where we can see them. That's the
Okay.
goal.
And the second one is where?
It's still in the hall. It's being moved forward very slowly, but that's the one that's enthralled, so it's fine.
Yes. So
Okay.
these two splicers are in the room in front of you. You guys are still in the hallway outside the room.
Gotcha,
So
gotcha.
there's one on the left hand side and one on the right hand side. The one under Bambi's thrall is on the left hand side and is further into the room. I would say about halfway into the room on the left side. And then the one who is not is I would say within the first third distance from the doorway that you guys are in, moving closer to the doorway.
Okay. Next question. What are in the med kits?
Do you have a full med kit or half med kit?
I have 2 full med kits.
2 full med
Currently.
kits. You probably have some painkillers, some bandages, maybe a little bit of morphine.
Awesome. That's what I was hoping for. So, yeah, Niklaus is gonna grab one of the syringes of morphine, and start walking towards the door, addressing the one that's slowly moving over, and say, so I suppose you're looking for, Kane. Would that be correct?
You're addressing the one who's not under Bambi's spell?
Yeah.
At the mention of Kane, it's like the dog vanishes too. His head snaps up. He starts laughing again, just like this really like crazy high-pitched sound. And like it's almost like he completely forgets the dog's even there. Stops moving, turns his head like whips over to you. And he smiles, and it's probably one of the most grotesque things you've ever seen.
Lovely.
Just like he's got sores around his mouth, clearly teeth missing. Part of his face looks as if the structure of the face has actually kind of melted in on itself a little bit. So the skin kind of hangs down,
Ooh.
almost like a flap over one side of his face, and covers kind of part of his mouth. So you just hear this choking laughter, this high-pitched squeal of a laugh come out of this guy. And he kind of like hunkers over a little bit and crouches, and tilts his head and looks at you, waiting for you to continue.
Well, I happen to have some here. It's a special variety. It should take care of that craving you're feeling. Here you go. And Niklaus will try to inject the morphine into this guy if they let him.
How close do you get?
I mean, no closer than I have to be able to do the injection. So, arm's length?
I'm gonna get you to roll intuition for me.
Okay. Oh, I'm actually decent at this one. But not a great roll. 10.
10. Okay. So you don't see it coming when he pulls the metal pipe up from the side of him and takes a really hard swing, kind of at whatever outstretched arm that you have. If you want to roll swiftness for me, and because you don't see it coming, roll with disadvantage for me.
They're both really good. So that is a 15. That is the lower roll.
Okay, just give me 1 second. Strength 5. Okay, yeah, no, he doesn't hit. So he brings up this metal pipe and he's swinging it down as hard as he can to try and clip you. He's not waiting for you to kind of move forward to inject him with it. It's more so now that he knows or thinks that you have Kane, There's no more reasoning with him. That kind of feral part of his addicted brain that is so dependent on this substance to stay alive kicks in, and it's like, you know, whatever conversation you could have had potentially with him, that opportunity is gone. He's just totally in feral mode, and he moves to jump at you. And so Anastasia moves into the room as she sees this happening. She decides to kind of move forward in while you are offering this quote unquote cane. And as he lunges for you, she pulls up her pistol and she aims and she shoots at him.
Okay.
So this is gonna be fun. Looking at 2 sets of stats on different pages is always fun.
Right?
On like 3 separate tabs. It's fine. Hold on.
It's basically like the virtual version of the murder board. Every time, you know, one goes
Yes.
to GN.
All right. So. Um, six. And I have 3 Word documents up and like 5 tabs open. It's a lot. This guy. The 3, there's a 9. Anastasia hits. She takes aim at the splicer. She doesn't have any trouble avoiding Niklaus as much as she might mentally want to hit him, but she does not. She hits the splicer, and he takes 2 points of damage. Bambi, your turn.
Yeah. Bambi would like to, she still has her thrall on the one guy. She would like to coerce him into something.
Okay. So describe to me what you would like to do.
She would like him to claw his own eyes out.
Oh God.
Okay.
That escalated quickly.
What should we get you to roll?
Skillfulness, maybe?
Yeah, I'm gonna get you to roll skillfulness, and this guy is going to roll resistance to see what happens.
This is where I fuck it up, guys. Okay. Also, I no longer have uses of Able, just so you know.
Yeah, that's okay. This one is ongoing, so you used it, and it will last till the end of the duration of the hold on the splicer.
10. God damn it.
That's okay. I rolled initially a 7 to see if he broke his hold, and he didn't, obviously. And then he has no extra resistance modifier, so I rolled a 9. So you
Just
certainly,
barely.
yeah. So describe to me kind of how you encourage him to do this. So you're able to stop singing for a moment, just as long as he's still hearing your voice, that connection is still being made. So as you stop singing and kind of try to coerce him into doing this, how do you go about that?
She's actually gonna sing it at him.
Okay.
She's going to alter the lines. Let me pull up these lyrics here. And she is going to say, this is going to be awful because I'm really terrible at on-the-cuff adjustments. Dance with me, make me sway. Claw your eyes out like you cray cray.
Why is it so fitting for Bambi though? Like, it's absolutely
Right.
something you should say.
And that's really it, but it's like those are the lyrics in the song that she changes.
Oh my goodness.
So does she put any sort of emphasis on that? Does she keep repeating it?
Yes,
Does
it's
she
very
approach?
repetitious.
Yeah.
So the song
Set the
was-
scene for me here, Yasmin. Set
So
the
Bambi
scene.
is singing this beautiful "Sway with Me" that we all know by Bublé. And instead of the primary lyrics, I'm going to adjust it from what I said just a little bit. When marimbo rhythms start to play, claw your eyes out like you're cray cray, like a lazy ocean hugs the shore. Hold me close, sway me more. And she goes on, and this it's a continuous lyric, which she essentially just repeats to the sound of the song. So she's just continually telling the guy, like, look, you're crazy, claw your fucking eyes out.
Okay.
Do it for me because you love me so much, and that's all I want.
So it kind of takes a moment for what Bambi is saying to register with the splicer, because his attention is torn now between Bambi approaching and kind of like this louder voice suggesting this to him, versus still taking on Herney. So it takes a moment before it really starts to click. At the same time, Anastasia is moving into the room to take a shot at this second splicer. Bambi, how loudly are you singing?
As loud as she can without breaking her melody,
Okay.
because she has to drown out the alarms somehow.
Yes. So you are belting, absolutely belting this song, and the splicer finally starts to recognize your voice and what you're saying, and that connection between the two of you through this power that you have is already well established, but then kind of tightens. It's almost like a fist tightening slightly to the point where it's very uncomfortable, and he kind of zones in on your words and what you're saying. And you can see the conflicting emotions on his face. Like clearly he's still there enough to know that he should be kind of fighting against this hold that you have, but it's clearly a losing battle as well. So you continue to call for him in this voice to claw his own eyes out. And after a moment, you see that kind of click in his head where it's like, oh, right, that's exactly what I thought I should be doing. And he kind of looks at his hands, and when he holds them up, the nails are all broken, and like his hands are bleeding and full of open wounds, and he's got like half dirty bandages coming off of his wrist, and his shirt is tattered and all that. And then he puts his hands up to his face, and it's not like a super aggressive motion, because he kind of like the movement kind of matches to the way you're singing as well. So he puts his hands to his face, and you can see the fingers kind of just barely start to dig in, and they continue and continue. So it's not like a violent movement, it's very slow, and you can see every moment of it as he like digs his fingers into his eye sockets, and just lets out this most bellowing scream that kind of grates on his voice. Like you've heard his laughter, that his voice is kind of gone already, but this scream is so powerful as he continues to push his fingers as deeply into his eye sockets as possible, that this scream is just ripping up his throat as he cries out. And it's so easy to hear it right over the alarm system. Everybody hears it as it happens, and you get to a point where like his eyes pop, like he puts his fingers right through those.
Yes.
And just blood all over his face starts to drip down onto his hands. And he kind of starts to sing the melody with you through his screaming.
Fuck yeah!
Right? So he is effectively blinded, still under your thrall, and is now half screaming, half singing along to your words. Hope you guys enjoyed that
That was
imagery.
delightful. Skin color.
Sometimes I feel like I'm going a little too easy on you guys for what these splicers are. I have to spice it up some, you know?
I love it.
So okay, this is interesting. So he does this. He digs his fingers so far into his eye sockets. Both of them are blinded. He cannot see. And as he begins to sing with you, suddenly the words cut off, the lyrics stop. And he turns from a cry of pain to just this absolute bellow of rage. So he's clearly come out of this thrall that you've had through the pain of just completely destroying his own eyes, which has brought him out of this thrall just by sheer force of pain alone. And he begins to scream, and he starts running towards where he knew you to be last. So he can't see, he just starts running towards you. And of course, the gunshot goes off. Anastasia hits the second splicer, who, takes the brunt of that bullet straight on, kind of stumbles. I'd say it's probably not like a straight shot to the chest, because obviously she was trying to be mindful of Niklaus and trying to get around him a little bit. So I would say it's probably squarely like in the shoulder, the like upper portion of the chest. So she hits there. He stumbles back, and it's only barely a couple of steps backwards. Still within full range of Niklaus. He does not actually like stumble or fall or anything like that. Somehow he's so sturdily planted in his stance as he was hunched over that this impact from the bullet does not send him very far. So he looks from Niklaus to Anastasia, continues with that kind of grimace of a grin, and then looks back to you, Niklaus, and goes in for a second swing. So you can roll dodge for me. It doesn't matter. You don't have to roll dodge, because I rolled a nat one. So he.
I was actually gonna say. Oh wait, no, he's swinging with a pipe, isn't he?
He is, yes.
Okay, never mind.
Why? What was the thought process?
My mind was thinking he was punching, and I was gonna say I'll just let him punch, but just hold the needle where the punch is coming.
Yeah, you would have got him in that case, because this guy's an idiot. But no, he's using a pipe.
First, I remembered at the last thing, like, oh yeah, no, he's got a pipe. Never mind.
So you're still poised to hit him with this syringe, are you?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he looks at Anastasia, and he's so cocky in the way that he grins that when he looks back to you and makes a swing with a pipe, he totally miscalculates the momentum that it would need to actually hit you with the pipe, and throws himself farther forward than he intended, stumbles right into your range, and you can go ahead and stab him with that if you'd like.
Yep. Just gonna.
Boop. Awesome.
And plunge her down.
All right, Sid, what are you doing?
Nighty night.
So if could I safely use my flamethrower?
Probably not.
Not yet. Niklaus is still too close to the right side splicer because he is very close range, plunging that plunger in. And then Bambi is relatively close to the secondary splicer, who is now charging at her. So
How
they are both
distracted?
anyway.
How distracted is Niklaus then? You know, I mean, I know Niklaus just is fighting a splicer, but like, how distracted are you?
I'd say the splicer has 90% of my attention.
Okay, Sid's going to try and sneak in and get a blood sample.
From Niklaus?
Yes.
Okay.
Sid continues to do things that just completely take me by surprise every single time. What is the purpose, darling?
Sid's curious.
Sid
Sid has methods.
is
All right.
realizing something's up, and I think Pepper probably helped with that. Calling him out.
Sid, you can roll for stealth. Niklaus, roll for awareness, but because you are otherwise engaged, you can roll with disadvantage.
19.
Awareness. That's a 6 instead of
Okay.
a 20.
And Michael just tipped $12, which I am assuming is probably 4 plot points.
It is. Thanks, Michael.
Michael, what are you thinking?
Mr. Snuggles comes in to save Bambi and sees, I think that is Niklaus, as a threat, apparently, for some reason. Though I will say, you probably have to choose one or the other, because 4 plot points is something helpful for the party or unhelpful for the party. Let me put it this way. That's rules as written. Vanessa, I will leave it up to you.
All right, so I'm gonna ask for Michael's input to help me modify this suggestion, because I would absolutely love to go with it. However, I do have some questions that are more so in regards to how the map is laid out. So if you can tell me exactly how you'd like me to proceed with this, then absolutely. If not, then perhaps we can save that Mr. Bubbles entry for coming up. Because you know what, we're gonna need them. It's fine. So the way that the map is laid out, we are in what is essentially the reactor of the entire city. So you have the thermal vents down at the southernmost point.
You don't want Hulk smashing in there. You really don't.
These rooms are all interconnected. Some are in actual buildings. Some of them are connected by glass hallways, like these reinforced glass and steel tunnels, right? Would you have Mr. Bubbles smash into a room and create more chaos? Are we going to have him enter through the entrance that the bathysphere would have taken? Like, obviously there are access ports for the Guardians to come in and out of, because they naturally did work on the outside of the city as well, because obviously they were equipped for it. So he would essentially have entries in to the main hubs of the buildings. It just wouldn't, like, it would take him some time to get there. So what are we thinking? While we contemplate that for a moment, let's see what happens just immediately here.
Is it Pepper's turn?
Sid, Niklaus, sorry, Sid wanted to take a sample. Niklaus, what did you roll against?
Oh, it was very, very low. It was like a 6.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, Sid, you have no issue. You dart forward without being seen. Nobody else is really paying attention to you because they're all worried about the 2 splicers that are trying to kill everybody. So they did not notice you with your little syringe trying to stab Niklaus. So you are able to successfully gain that sample. Do you retreat afterwards, or do you stay within the room?
Retreat. It's gonna be like I was never in there.
Okay, so
does Niklaus realize, like, this has happened after the fact, or no? Like, it doesn't really matter one way or the other, but if he does notice it, there's a thing he'll say.
Just FYI, Pepper was skipped. I just want to say.
No, we're at the bottom of the list. Sid and then Niklaus,
okay.
and then we start again. Yeah.
Okay, because the dogs didn't act.
Yeah, I got you, girl. Don't worry. You get
right.
the pepper soon.
Okay, I'm like, I think I was skipped.
No, the pepper and the splicers are one right after the other, so there's a little bit of back and forth there before we move on.
All right.
So sorry, Raven, what was your question?
Just does Niklaus realize this has happened after the fact, or is completely oblivious to the entire process?
I'll leave that up to Sid. Sid, how does the process go? Like, what do you just disappear immediately after it happens? Niklaus, are you familiar with this kind of thing that Sid does? You've seen her do it before. So is this
have.
something that you would be more prone to notice?
I just feel like Niklaus would notice if, suddenly there's a needle.
Yeah, I feel like
in
Niklaus
him.
would feel it, but I feel like Sid would try to get out of the way so that Niklaus wouldn't really be able to.
Okay, so how about we do
Where
it
the
this
pinch
way?
came
You
from.
successfully rolled stealth to go in and do it. Because Niklaus is a doctor and familiar, with doing bad things to people, why don't you roll stealth for me again to see if you can successfully skate away from him? And Niklaus
Perfectly
awareness.
neutral things for the advancement of medical science, Vanessa. Come on.
That's a 10.
Naturally. Of course. So since you're a bad man doing bad things, roll awareness for me.
Alright, that's 13.
And sit on self.
That was just a 10.
So we'll say this. Sid comes in and gets that sample successfully, is retreating. Niklaus, you feel it. And you're of the mind that, you've seen Sid do this to the others. So you're fairly certain that that's what happened, but you don't actually physically see her retreating. You just have
Okay.
a very, very, very good hunch that that's what happened, but no visual confirmation. How's that?
That's perfectly fine. Niklaus then is just going to call out, like, time and place, Sydney. Time and place.
Sid, do you have an answer to that, or do you just retreat?
Sid will just say, "Yup."
Yes, this is neither of those things, Sid.
Yup.
basically, Sid's just gonna not say anything, but like the silent confirmation that like, okay.
All right. I don't know, you guys. What do you feel about Mr. Bubbles? So, we left
Was
him.
it Bubbles or Snuggles?
Snug,
Mr. Bubbles.
Snuggles, I think is our version.
Oh, yeah,
Instead
the
of
one that-
Bubbles.
Yes.
Bubbles was actually in
It
game.
was Mr. Snuggles.
The similar
so-
to but legally distinct from Mr. Bubbles.
That's correct.
Yes, obviously. The third cousin, 4 times removed. So last we saw Mr. Snuggles, he was being left to tend to the little one, Maggie.
Mm-hmm.
That was left back at the apartments, wasn't it? Or in Adonis Plaza.
Mm-hmm. I mean, if Maggie's looking for her mom, because I imagine, it has been a while. She's
It
not
has.
at home.
So, Michael, I'll give you this then. We'll throw a little spicy in there, but we'll also throw a little haha funny noise in there. You guys look to the side. You can see one of the walls. There's like a little section of window there. Yes, Jay, haha funny noise. You can see Mr. Snuggles on the other side of the glass, and he starts to pound on it. And nothing happens immediately. Like, there's no fissure in the glass. This place is pretty sturdy. It's reinforced time and time over. It's made to withstand whatever needs to be thrown this way. But he starts to pound on the glass. And your
So
first
wait,
thought is,
outside.
yeah,
Or
he's
he's outside.
outside.
Oh God.
Yeah. So you all, if you recognize that this is happening, you're very immediately aware that should anything happen to the glass, you will be filled with water. So yeah, we'll go forward with that in mind. So you've got
Sorry.
alarms blaring. You have 2 splicers currently trying to kill you, and Mr. Snuggles is pounding on the glass to the forge.
Oh no.
I have so many things I want to do.
I just want to interject just for a second. I don't know
Absolutely.
if you missed it, but Michael did respond.
That around a corner or whatever. But I think this works.
I mean, this works. I just wanted to make sure that if you were waiting for Michael, Michael did respond.
Oh, I see it now. Yeah, I missed
Yeah.
it as well.
Yeah,
but
we'll
just-
we'll work him in
Okay.
there. Yeah. Right now,
I-
for the moment, he's outside.
pounding
'Cause
on
naturally,
the
that would be the
glass
fastest way. Yes.
that
'Cause he sees-
separates us from the ocean.
Yes. Correct.
Yes.
Cool.
So you
Cool.
hear that? Yep.
And we're talking high pressure, deep ocean.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
We are.
We're all gonna die.
Whose
It-
turn is
yeah,
it?
Cool,
that's-
cool.
Vanessa's had it up to
We
here
gonna
with her
die.
shit. She's like,
Mr.
fine,
Snuggles.
you're all dead.
Jay's like, Mr. Snuggles, let me in.
Is it Pepper's turn now?
Oh, for extra funny haha noise, you can picture that vine where the old lady's slamming on the bus doors singing. That's Mr. Snuggles right now.
Love it.
Yeah.
Oh god. I think it's Niklaus's turn now. Because I got stabbed with a needle.
Okay. Do you have any quick besides telling Sid off?
Did what happened with the I guess technically my turn would be doing the injection. So does this guy like pass out or like start acting super drunk, or what happens with the morphine?
Let me see, and I will tell you. Yeah, it takes a moment for that to kick in. From your own medical opinion, and from sources of information that are not important at the moment, you can deduce that this guy is so cranked up on Kane that the morphine has to like fight his system to take effect properly. But naturally, he is still human, somewhere under all of those melted skin folds. So it does, yeah, it
That's such
takes a moment.
Gross mental image. Melted
I do
skin
like that.
folds is a
Yep,
phrase
I
that
do
should
like
never
that.
be uttered.
You're very welcome. And I will make note to say it more. Thank you for your input. But yes, it takes a moment, but it does work its way into his system, and he does get druggy and kind of like
Okay.
sways a little bit.
Then I won't do the backup plan that I had for that then, and Niklaus will just step back.
Just step away.
Yeah. If he's drugged up on morphine, then Niklaus will just back off and let him get into a morphine stupor.
Why do I continue to expect you guys to do things and then they not? Why am I still surprised at anything that happens? We still haven't
Because-
gotten anywhere. It's fine.
Well, because he's just gonna let him like basically pass out or stumble off, and then they can keep moving forward.
Valid. Valid. I will admit,
yeah.
very valid. Just not the route that I thought you were going to take. But A very
Niklaus
valid
is behind the wheel right now, not Klaus. So
okay, that makes more sense.
less murder, more incapacitate.
Right. Thank you. I never thought I'd say this,
Holy
but
cow!
thank you,
y'all.
Klaus.
Thank you so much for all these gifted subs.
Oh yay!
Oh man.
So April,
how
Adam,
many do we need for a hype train?
and Parks. I thought it was
you!
3. It might be 5. Like 5, like within a 5-minute period. I don't know. I don't know that we've ever had one. But that's way awesome. So April, Adam, and Parks, you can all do 2d6 distributed however you'd like.
You!
Or, oh my gosh, thank y'all so much.
Yes!
There's the hype train.
Yay!
Holy cow! Thank y'all so much. I appreciate that. That's awesome. So yeah, we've never had one before. So how this works, if you donate bits or subscriptions, then when the hype train ends, you get a special emote unlocked on Twitch.
Thank you.
Nice.
It's pretty cool, and I think like the higher the level, the more rare the emote, or something like that. The higher level hype trains do different things.
Guys,
I don't know
I've put
what all
in
it is.
my $15.
Thank you so much. And yeah, anybody who got gifted a sub, you can do 2d6 to whoever you'd like, the cast or the GM, or you can. Oh,
Yay!
thank you guys. Or you can suggest 2 plot points. Just if you do the plot points, queue it up so we're not overwhelming Vanessa with tons of plot points. all
Go
at once.
easy on me, you guys. Go easy on me.
But yes, you have all of those things to redeem whenever you would like. And thank you all so much. Level 2 hype train, holy cow. Just
Look at us
skipped right over
go.
level 1, jumped right to level 2.
Woohoo!
Thank you guys.
Yeah.
All right. So, in all that madness, where were we? Niklas stepped
Nik-
away.
Stepped away.
Okay. So,
Thank you.
Anastasia brings up her gun again, obviously. She's going to take a shot at the drugged up Splicer. Oh my goodness. She is not paying attention. Let me see. Yeah, no, she misses. I think she's also surprised that Niklas would just back off. So she's not really paying as much attention as she should, and misses her shot. Okay, Bambi, what would you like to do?
So this guy is running at her, right?
Thank
Yes,
you.
blindly.
Bambi would like to sidestep him and pop him in the back of the head with her microphone.
Thank you.
Holy smokes!
Holy crap, guys. Oh my god.
We did it!
Yeah!
It's so exciting here today.
Holy cow, thank you.
Oh, we're at
Thank
level 4.
you.
Level 3 on to level 4, oh my goodness.
Can we get a level 5 is the question.
First hype train ever. It's almost halfway to level 5. First hype train ever. Just like, we're just gonna
Oh,
go
thank you,
all the way to
Jay.
the last level. That's awesome. Thank you all so
Thank
much. I really
you.
appreciate it.
Yeah.
You deserve
Very
it.
unexpected. Thank you. Very unexpected.
Yay!
You deserve
so
it.
yeah, thank you. And yeah, everybody who's here, all those gifted
Thank
subs,
you.
2d6 to give out however you like, or 2 plot points. Just let me know in chat, or hold on to them and let me know later. Either way's fine.
If you do
Thank you all
decide
so
to
much.
use them here, just give me some time.
we'll form an
you.
orderly queue for the plot points. Oh my
Yeah!
Yeehaw! Okay,
goodness. Thank you. My goodness.
Thank you.
so to sidestep this guy and pop him in the back of the head, what would you like me to roll?
Skillfulness with advantage,
Thank
because he's
you.
blind.
Yeah. All right.
And I'm not even gonna roll against you. Well, that would defeat the purpose. We'll roll against you at disadvantage. How about that?
20 is with
Oh, it's fine.
advantage.
I rolled a nat 1, so so what that means is I get to make it extra stupid. So go ahead and
Mr.
explain what you'd
Snuggles
like to
just
do.
wants a
So
hug.
Bambi sees this guy coming for her. She takes hardly a step out of the way as this guy rushes past her, and with one effortless swing, she uses her microphone to pop the guy in the back of the head.
Okay. So yes, he's barreling towards you. And you do exactly that without even so much as a stutter in your step. So extremely graceful as you take a side step. And as he is barreling past you, you bring your microphone down square, just exactly the way you would plan to do it. And you make contact easily, very, very easily. So much so, in fact, that this guy is so unaware of what you've done, both in pain and in rage,
Thank you!
that you can go ahead and roll 2d6 for damage.
Nice.
Thank you all again. I can't keep up with all the names, so thank you, everyone. Also, Michael did one more plot point for there was a little mouse in Mechanic's outfit running by with a mouse wrench to fix something. Just off in the background.
That was 9
Absolutely.
points of damage.
Say that again?
9 points of damage.
9 points of damage. Thank God. Actually, you know what? This guy, I'm gonna roll for self-inflicted damage because, you know, bro popped his own eyes. Like, oh, and that's a 6. So all together, we've just done 15 points of damage.
Fuck yeah.
Damn, Bambi is a force to be reckoned with here today.
She's cute, but she'll kill you.
Sometimes with something as simple as a high heel. So
Today, it's a microphone that's not plugged into anything.
yeah. She just has this like OP kind of rope dart, but it's a microphone.
Yeah, it's sort of like the old school 1950s, like honka-chonks.
So yeah, you hit him so squarely in the back of the head that whatever integral weakness that he had due to his deformed skull, because, you know, melted skin folds and all that good stuff, it's a common affliction with those who are addicted to cane. Melted skin folds. You guys had enough of that yet? You hit him so squarely on the back of the head that, like, you just hear, like, even he's so close to you that even with the alarms blaring in the background, you hear so clearly this sickening crunch as the microphone makes connection with his skull, and it just cracks open, and you see as liquid that you can't really identify at the moment, and to be honest with you, I don't even know if you would care to make a guess at what is coming out of there, but you see the entire back of his head slick with liquid that just pours out from this busted open skin at the back of his head, and homie stumbles and goes down for a moment. But yeah, so Pepper, back to you.
Well, a lot has happened since the dogs have been trying to rally people up.
Yep, things are popping off here today.
So there was many things that the dogs could have done as things acted, but couldn't because everything was happening so quickly.
People were getting in their way.
Yeah, I guess so. So I am thinking that Artemis is on the guy with the popped eyeballs that is currently raging the heck out. And then the other guy is almost collapsed, I think, right?
Yeah, he's full of morphine now.
Okay. So, yeah, both dogs are going to turn their attention to the one that's hulking out, and they are going to level 4 hat train emote. That's great. All right. Anyways, so what was I saying? Anyways, my ADHD is in full swing, obviously. The both dogs are going to try to trip him and tear off his legs. Them hungry dogs.
All right. So is one dog tripping and one dog attacking? Are they both attacking?
I'd say they're both going for the legs, like literally just trying to pull it out from behind him.
And you said that's the blind splicer. That's
Yes.
by Bambi, right?
Yeah, it seems
Um,
like the other guy is taken care of at the time being.
Yeah. Roll a skillfulness for both dogs
Okay.
with your modifier.
Skillfulness. So that's +2. Okay, Herney, that is a 13. And Artemis, that is a 18. So let me type that in.
Yeah, nope, they both successfully do what they set out to do. And as Michael says in the chats, yes, the dogs do sweep the leg. Yeah, so this splicer not only gets a major smack to the back of the head, super intense injury, but as this is happening, the dogs kind of weave in to his legs and he goes down hard. And takes another 3 points of damage.
Dogs are playing curling over here.
How many points of damage? Like, is that just from them? Oh, that's right. I'm rolling for that. Okay. My brain is so distracted right now. I am so sorry. Okay.
Hurrying hard.
All right. 9 points total.
9 points for what?
9 points of damage. So Herney bites down for 4. Artemis bites down for 5. That's not including any other roll like strength or anything.
Well, you said they're tripping first, right? So
Yeah.
we haven't rolled
Okay.
to bite yet.
Okay.
Yeah,
So,
so
they're just tripping.
Yes, he takes an initial 3 damage just from the fall.
Okay. Sorry. I
Yeah.
misunderstood.
So yes, no worries. Hold on to that because we'll fuck him up again in a minute.
Let's do it.
All right, so Pepper and the dogs have gone. Let's see what this poor splicer is able to do. The dogs are, like we said, they hit the legs. He goes down, falls in such a way that not only is the back of his head oozing, and his eyes bleeding, but he's probably, like smacked his head off the ground during the fall as well to add insult to injury. Probably the stupidest way for him to get hurt in this situation, but that's what happens. So he stands up. All I picture is him like kicking in different directions. You know that Vine where the guy is like, dude, stop. And the guy is just like kicking his legs in the middle of the street. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No.
Don't
I'll
remember
have
that
to
one.
find it. I'll have to find it for you because it's really funny. But that's what my brain has supplied for this splicer, who is just like kicking out, trying to clip these dogs. But can't find them. He actually literally cannot find them. He doesn't have eyes. So yeah, that's him for now. The splicer with Niklaus. I'm going to roll. Let me see. Excuse me while I pull up my 10,000 different stat tables. Yeah, no, he's completely succumbed now to the morphine. So he's like leaning heavily on the pipe as he like sways forward. And he's not doing so well. So he's not out for the count. He's not dead. He's not, he's just very loopy and unable to do anything. Sid, what would you like to do?
Sid has by this point put the blood sample away and is going to just kind of stand there for like half a second and be like, more like, I'm kind of bored and I'm ready to move on, so I guess I'll participate a little bit. And just like grabs their flamethrower and decides to use it as like just a beating stick, like before.
That being said, Niklas has backed off the right-hand side splicer. So if you do want
Sweet.
to
Then I will
actually use
I will use it. I will blow fire.
Yeah, we may as well call you a dragon.
Yes.
This guy is not gonna try and get out of your way. He physically cannot. He's too looped up on this morphine. So you automatically get the hit that you were looking for. And so I know Raven gave me advice on this last time and I can't remember what she said. Raven, what did you say about your experience with ongoing fire damage?
Oh, it does damage, and then like their next turn it does damage again, like less damage, and then they get a chance to put themselves out, and then if they don't,
right.
then they take more damage the beginning of next turn, and so on and so forth.
Right. So Riley, I'll just get you to roll for initial damage in that case.
Is that a D6?
I can't remember if I put you down for a D6 or a D4. Let me see if I have it under weapons. Flamethrower, D6, yeah.
2.
2. Okay. Niklaus, your input, sir.
So this guy was stumbling, leaning on the pipe, and then said just flamethrower.
Just blasted him with fire, yes.
Okay. I mean, Niklas was just gonna kick the pipe out from under him and shove him down, but you know that works too.
I mean, you can absolutely add insult to injury as his body is flaming. Just kick out his only support.
No, I think that's enough.
Are you sure you don't want to demean him as much as physically possible? I'm kidding.
Niklas is good. He doesn't want to, singe anything.
Oh, naturally, of course. How could I forget? So stupid of me. Okay. Do you decide to do anything else?
Well, the other one is the other one still standing? The one without eyes?
Define standing.
He's kind of trying to stumble to his feet and like kick out at the dogs.
The dogs are on his legs.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Is he close to a wall or the bars or anything?
I would say that he's closest to the wall with the door on it, yes.
Okay. Niklas will just walk over and just like shove the back of his head towards the wall. Like grab the back of his head and shove his face towards the wall.
Okay, so he's kind of in a volatile position right now because he's flailing about. So I'm gonna get you to roll strength for me.
Okay.
And I am going to roll against you.
Okay. That is gonna be a 12.
Yeah, that's a 9 for him. So you successfully do so. You take this guy and you said you wanted to smash his head against the wall?
Yeah, basically just while he's flailing around, trying to find his way around, just like put Niklas's hand on the back of his head and just shove his face into the wall.
Thank you guys for joining me here today, where the theme of our session is traumatic brain injury. This poor guy, despite his already leaking cracked skull, is absolutely, he cannot do anything as you take him, and that's an extra 3 points of damage for him.
Right. That's
Okay. Anastasia. Headbangers Convention is going smashingly.
it.
Great. Yes, I would say that is a success as well. So Anastasia, you might not want to kick a burning man while he's down, but Anastasia is absolutely prepared to put a bullet in him, which she does. For another 2 damage. Oh, I goofed. No, sorry, that's my fault. Go ahead, Bambi. What would you like to do? Oh, you're muted, yes.
Muted.
The guy with brain damage is being taken care of by Klaus now, right?
More or less.
Bambi will turn her attention to the other guy and give him a good wallop with her.
The other guy's
microphone.
burning.
Oh,
He's on
shit.
fire.
Bambi actually is going to give a shuddering, stuttering breath and try and fumble for her. Let me make sure I actually have it. Her single able hypo. But because she is at the end of her high, her hands are shaky. She's not doing so great. She's got the sweats going on. And I would like to roll skillfulness or resistance.
Depends on the outcome you're fighting against, I suppose. Do you want to avoid side effects, or are you trying to see if she can take the able without dropping it?
It's a little bit of both. She wants to get the able before the side effects kick in.
Okay, do a resistance for me.
Okay. Oh, I fucked it up. There we go. 4!
Oh,
All right, so I believe we've encountered 2 of your side effects so far. You have a total of 4, correct?
Correct. We've done
Okay.
blindness and hallucinations. She has random orifice bleeding and violent outbursts left.
Okay, so you can take a dice. You can do like a d6 odds and evens to see which one's which. Just assign one to each and go from there.
It
We'll
is
see.
random orifice bleeding.
Okay, so at least we dodged that bullet for a moment. Yeah. So as you are fumbling for this vial of able, your hands are shaking violently at this point that you're actually afraid that you might drop the bottle. So you manage to fish it out, and your hand tightens around the bottle almost to the point that it breaks in your hand, just because you're so afraid that if you drop it, then, you lose out on this bottle. There's no coming back from it.
I'm
So
fucked
you-
one way or the other.
Yeah. So you're holding it perhaps a little too tightly. It doesn't break anything like that, but it's very difficult for you to use your second shaking hand to take the cap off of the bottle and get it to your mouth. But you end up putting the bottle to your mouth, and you go to tilt your head back to drink this vial to replenish yourself after depleting all of your energy with these plasmids. And you open your mouth to put the bottle to your lips, and as you start to pour this liquid into your mouth, which has a very, very sweet taste, you get a very, very coppery taste as well, very metallic, as your nose just starts bleeding and starts mixing with the taste of the able in your mouth. Do you continue regardless to drink the vial?
Bambi tries, but the taste of blood is so detestable for her that she ends up gagging and throwing up instead.
Okay. So,
Hmm.
yes, you do this. I'd say you had attempted to drink maybe about half the vial before this happens. So, as you kind of lean forward to throw up, you don't pour out the second half of the bottle. I won't do that to you. You
Thanks.
still maintain your grip on the bottle because it was so tight. And you empty the contents of your stomach. And yeah, when you straighten up, there's still blood running very freely from your nose. If you were to touch your cheeks, you might also find that you are experiencing some blood from your eyes as well, which begins to cloud your vision a little bit. You have to blink very aggressively to clear that from your eyes. But yeah,
Bambi will have just enough of the mental fortitude to put a cap on her hypo. And tuck it away before just trying to brush it all off and just sort of implodes a little bit with her state of being.
all right. So before anybody else really gets a chance to do anything, Anastasia yells for everybody to group up. You can still hear the very aggressive banging of Mr. Snuggles on the side of this glass. It doesn't look like any damage has been done to the side. Yeah. I love that. Mr. Snuggles is just trying to help you guys. Come on. Give him some credit. No damage has been done to the outside of the glass. He seems to be aware of that at least. Anastasia makes a roar for everybody to group up and move along. Clearly the two splicers are incapacitated for now. She does not want to spend any more time wasted trying to finish them off because clearly they've got enough damage done to them that should they decide to come after you guys, they're not going to make it very far. Like, it's very clear to see that. So she starts running towards the other end of the room to the next door.
Bambi's gonna try and follow, but as she's passing Mr. Snuggles in her terrible, awful, very grotesque state of being, she stops and puts her hand against the glass where the fist is pounding, and leaves a bloody handprint before moving on after everybody else.
All right. Does everybody follow?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, I should also mention that Pepper is out of the hypo. Can I actually, along with her hallucinations, can I say that she can disassociate as well? I think that goes kind of hand in hand with that.
Yeah, her side effects manifesting, you mean?
Yes.
Yes.
Because right now she just has hallucination and then nosebleeds. But I think this association will go with her hallucinations kind of hand in hand.
Yeah, I think her. Ooh, excuse me.
But yeah, so no, she kind of as basically she loses grip on the dogs more or less, and the dogs are kind of, I imagine, still kind of tearing into these legs. They hungry. Yeah, she doesn't follow. In fact, she doesn't seem to be aware what's going on. She looks kind of confused.
So Anastasia lets everybody go through the door before her. This one is like a big bulkhead door that leads out. So essentially, this this was the main building that you guys had traveled through, and then the opposite tunnel that Niklaus went was the start of another building initially, essentially. And so you guys are passing from now one building to the next, where it's connected by another one of these longer glass tunnels from building to building. So it's a giant reinforced door, which is open. You guys have access to it. We're not gonna get to this point and go, oh shucks, suddenly you can't advance. Yeah, so you guys go ahead through that little doorway there. Anastasia is the last to go through, as she counts all her ducks and realizes that one of them is missing. So she turns around, sees that Pepper is confused and not coming along, and starts yelling her name over the sound of the alarm. And I think that's where we're going to take a break.
Okay, awesome. We will be
Awesome.
back in about 10 minutes. We're going to go grab a drink, go stretch your legs, whatever you need to do for 10 minutes, and then we'll be right back here, and we'll find out what we're doing. So, be right back. we're back.
So, before the break, Pepper is lagging behind because she's having a time. I'm going to assume that you're all safely through the door into the hallway. Yes? No?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So
Mhm.
Pepper, what's going on with you?
Well, it's like the world has kind of shifted, right? So her problem is her hallucinations. Primarily, it turns people into animals. Full on with animal sounds, and they're not speaking language anymore. But also, her surroundings can change. So she is no longer as aware of her surroundings, and so she's kind of confused. She's, trying to figure out exactly where everyone went as she's looking through these thickets of jungle, and she's actually gets distracted by Mr. Cuddles over there, and she's looking that way. The dogs kind of pause, and they're ripping these legs to shreds. They've gotten a good chonk, and are actually by her side trying to guide her forward as she is disassociating and isn't aware of her surroundings as much. So it's the dogs are kind of like, moving her hands with their snoots, trying to get her to move forward, and she's not fully responding because she isn't fully aware of their presence.
Okay, so upon seeing that Pepper is making no effort to move toward her voice, Anastasia turns around and comes back into the room. Mr. Snuggles is still at the window, still pounding at it, so that noise is still added to the cacophony of the alarm sounds that are still happening. So Anastasia comes back, she runs back to Pepper and grabs her arm and kind of says, like, hey, we have to go. Are you coming? Like, we gotta go now.
That's enough to pull her at least somewhat out of it. She kind of looks at Anastasia with wide eyes, and she shakes her head and she's like, oh, the able, and she fumbles with her bag to try to get it. So she's starting to become more aware, at least enough that she knows what's going on. That this is happening to her.
Yeah, Anastasia takes the bag from her and finds the bottle a little bit easier, pops the lid off of it and hands it to Pepper.
All right, Pepper downs it.
So essentially, I guess the way we can look at Abel is kind of like when your blood sugar is really low and you kind of eat something to boost that back up. It's got the same effect. So you do feel a little bit better afterwards, with that kind of replenishing some of what the plasmids took from you as you used them. It's still going to take you a little while to kind of perk back up a little bit more, but overall, you can still feel that it's doing something.
Yeah. So the shadows are still shifting like leaves from tall trees as opposed to the way they should be. But she's able to like tell, okay, this is Anastasia, although she looks rather animal-like to me currently. She's like, sorry, I ran out. The shadows are strange. Okay, yes, we're going. Please, lead the way.
So Anastasia just briefly kind of puts her hands on either side of Pepper's face just to kind of like make her look at her for a second. And once Pepper's like, okay, let's go, Anastasia gives a little nod and drops her hands and starts moving back towards that door.
Yeah, so she follows after. Yeah, still struggling a bit, but she is at least cohesive enough to and is able to notice, like, yeah, her dogs are by her side and they help as well. Like, they press against her legs and make sure, she's moving straight, like basically they're there as kind of a guidepost to tell her what's real and what's not. They are not, actual like dogs that are trained to do that, but they have been with her long enough and they are intelligent beasts, especially as the cane has messed with their brains over the time. Yeah, they're intelligent enough to know, okay, this is kind of what's going on and this is what we need to do during this time, because doggos, good boys.
Awesome. So you guys make it to the other side of the room. The splicers seem down and out for the count. Despite still being alive in some capacity, they are both succumbing to their injuries, and you're fairly certain that by the time you make it back, if you make it back at all, who knows? By the time you swing back around this way, they will be dead. You're fairly certain of it. One of them is still on fire, and the other is oozing out the back of their brains. So yeah, we'll write these guys off for now. But you make it to the other end of the room and through that big bulkhead. Join up with the rest of the party who is waiting inside that little hallway there. So there's a little section that goes forward, and then there's a sharp right turn, and the hallway extends down this way. It's all made of glass and reinforced steel and stuff like that. So still keeps the visual aspect of the rest of the city, where you can see outside now of the buildings as you traverse through this pathway. When you guys meet up with the others through the little tunnel there, you do see Mr. Snuggles kind of lumbering around the corner of the building, over towards your direction. He sees that you have moved on from the room and is no longer pounding on the glass. It doesn't look like he's attempting to keep up with you, and obviously he is too slow to do so, but you do recognize that he's there, and is aware that you've moved on. So he's following in that sort of direction as well. But yeah, so you guys go down that hall, take that right turn, follow down towards the end where the next bulkhead door is. Do you guys offer anything, any interesting banter along the way, or are you guys just ready to go on?
As we are moving through the thing, Bambi's still bleeding profusely from her eyes, her ears, her nose, her mouth.
Her nose.
And she's gonna seek out Niklaus. And like she's wiping tears off her face, she comes up to him with bloody hands and kind of like grabs his suit or his jacket or whatever he is that he's wearing and just says, "Doc, you got anything for this girl?"
Niklaus is gonna look down, and ordinarily, like, getting blood on his suit jacket would probably make him very miffed. But I think at this point, it's just a lost cause anyways. With everything that they've done and been through, and falling on the ground a couple of times, like I think he's just written off this suit. So instead of being mad, I think he'll look down and go, "Oh well, that certainly doesn't look good. Perhaps we should take a look at this and get you all fixed up."
Well, Doc, the thing is, This will all stop if I can just have some Abel.
Well, in that case, I think you're in luck, dear. And Niklas will pull out a small vial of Abel from his inventory. And offer that along with a handkerchief.
Her hands are shaking so much that all that she can do is hold on to his wrist.
Okay. Then he'll like unstopper it and like help her drink it. All right, here you are. Just let your head back a little bit. There you go.
And then she will use his handkerchief to wipe away the excess blood, barring that it stops, mopping up her face with this handkerchief.
Roll resistance for me.
That is no modifiers. 13.
So you mop at this blood and you're like, haha, it's done. And it's not. It continues to pour from your orifices, despite you just having wiped your face clean.
Hey, at least it looks prettier now. It's not all smeared everywhere. It's still smeared everywhere. She gives Niklaus a pat on the shoulder and is just like, thanks for helping me.
Certainly. It's my job as a doctor, after all.
She tucks the bloody handkerchief back into the front lapel pocket.
Okay. I think once Bambi has moved on, Niklas will take that and hand it to Sid and go, "You were looking for blood samples. Here you go."
Sid just takes it dutifully and then just throws it behind her.
Nice.
Brittany, you're getting awfully brazen.
Just a little bit more comfortable, I guess.
Well, this is pretty typical. Like, Niklaus will sometimes turn his back and Sid will be like, oh, okay, that's lovely. And just like...
So
also for
Oh.
so sorry, real quick, for no particular reason at all, just to let you know, Vanessa, the handkerchief is monogrammed as well with the initials NSA.
Great.
Just in case that comes up later for no reason at all.
Naturally. Okay.
Anyways, so yeah, I mean, Pepper's still struggling along. Yeah, just kind of, you know, keeping track of Anastasia. And she actually looks at Anastasia and she's like, you know, you're a bear, right? That's what you are. And Niklaus is a lion, and Bambi's a deer. The kind that is bigger than a deer, actually. What was it? Not a moose. What is it? I used to know.
A gazelle?
Gazelle. This is her talking, not me trying to grasp.
No, I know. If
Yeah.
if Niklaus is within earshot, like after being described as a lion, when you're struggling to describe Bambi, he's going to say a gazelle.
She doesn't seem to hear you or not understand you, at least.
Okay.
She kind of like looks your way, so she's acknowledging that you said something, but there's a look of confusion, like she can't grasp what you're saying. She can't understand the words. And that's a fox. The kid's a fox.
Sid just winks.
I think Niklas is going to also look at Pepper again and go, you do know my ward is underage. I'd appreciate if you'd refrain from referring to her as a fox.
She does not respond again. She gets, she does tilt her head a little, like she can hear you, but it doesn't seem like she's able to, once again, parse what you're saying.
Niklas starts waving his hand in front of Pepper's face, like, hello.
She's like, yes, I can see you. She kind of swats your hand away.
Fascinating. And Niklas starts taking notes.
Anastasia gives him a very disapproving look.
Does this happen sometimes? I know that you're people, but you're also right now not people. But at least I know you're people.
Interesting.
Anastasia kind of she doesn't say anything, but she does know, obviously that Pepper's trying her best. So
Yes.
she kind of just gives a little nod of acknowledgement. She's still looking at Niklaus as if to say, okay, move along. Come on now. But
Niklaus
she does not. Go ahead.
Niklas is just kind of ignoring her. And given the time frame that this type of game is supposed to be set in, I think Niklaus is just still taking notes. Going, and when did you first realize that you were upset with your father?
To Anastasia or to
No, to Pepper Ann. Just try to psychoanalyze Pepper.
Pepper has once again, she can't understand what you're saying.
I know, but Niklas is still asking questions
That's so funny.
and taking notes.
All right. Anything else you'd like to add, you guys, before you get to the other door?
Bambi is quietly singing to herself. And she sings Love Fool, performed by Postmodern Jukebox. But she's just quietly singing Love Fool to herself as she minds her own business. Between what she managed to drink and what Niklaus gave her, does that refill her uses?
Niklaus, how much did you give to her? Was it a full vial, a half vial? What are we looking at here?
In my inventory, just said small vial of Able.
Okay, so Yaz, you get about half of your slots back.
Okay.
What's your counter for Siren
I
Song?
6.
6 max, so take back 3. Whatever you drank the first, you still have half a vial left, but whatever you drank initially exited your system with the rest of the contents of your stomach. So, okay, yeah, you guys make it to the other end of this tunneled hallway, up to another bulkhead, which you are able to open. Anastasia kind of puts her hand out across the group to stop everybody once the door is open and stands in the hallway for a good 5-10 seconds, just silently, before moving into the room. She's learned her lesson from the first one. But she doesn't hear anything. Neither do the rest of you. There doesn't seem to be anything immediately inside this doorway. So she begins to move in as stealthily as possible. it's clear that her intention is to creep inside instead of going in guns blazing. Which she manages to pull off quite adequately. She moves in, and it doesn't seem like anything has turned its attention towards her yet. Do you guys follow suit?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, you can all roll stealth for me. Who's gonna be the one to fuck it up this time?
Are we taking bets now?
Me! Oh. Not too bad, though. So stealth, correct?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, that's not too bad. It's 10.
7.
24.
Sydney, did you and I both got 7?
All right. Bambi and Sid, re-roll your stealth. I will give you the benefit of having the alarm system on your side.
19.
6.
Bambi!
Bambi's just stumbling through, half blinded by the blood pouring out of her face. She's like, guys, where did you go? She's wiping it on her dress and trying to wipe her nose. And she's like, guys, did you leave me?
Okay, so the rest of the group makes it inside the room. We can't have nice things, apparently. The rest of the group comes into the room. There are scattered, like, overturned furniture, pieces of machinery, things like that, in this room. You all manage to find a place to duck down, to take cover for a moment to assess the situation. Bambi, you don't realize that that's the plan, and you continue to walk into the room. You're not, it's not that you're breaking everything in sight and knocking things over and none of that, but you don't see that people have ducked into these little spots. So
She just
rather
walks past them.
rather than crouch and kind of slip yourself into a more inconspicuous position, you're still standing. It's a lot more conspicuous. The rest of them are hidden behind furniture and things like that.
Can Niklaus see Bambi wandering in like that and try to, like, grab her and pull her into one of these hidey holes?
Sure. So Bambi, as Niklaus is trying to do this, you're still trying to wipe the blood from your eyes and things like that. Your vision isn't too bad. You're not blind or anything like that, but it is cloudy. You are having difficulty. If Niklaus were to grab you, what would kind of be your reaction to that?
She would squeal.
For the love of Jesus. All right.
I'm sorry.
Niklaus, in that case, I'm going to get you to roll skillfulness for me, please.
All right.
Bambi, would you fight back or would you
Nat
just
20.
squeal?
If she knew it was Niklaus, she would relax. If she didn't know it was Niklaus, she would fight the ever-loving shit out of him.
I got a nat 20.
Okay. So, Niklaus, you kind of move forward. Rowan. For the love of
It's
Jesus. Yes.
true.
Okay.
It was adorable, just so you know.
Okay. I didn't realize that was a newfified phrase, but
No, just the way you pronounced it.
yeah. Okay. I don't know what to say to that, but okay. Glad you enjoyed it. Niklaus, you
Yes.
move forward, and you see that Bambi is kind of not quite barreling into her surroundings. Like, it's not as forceful or attention grabbing as that, but you see that she's walking into a position where if there's anybody in this room, she's going to draw attention. So you move forward and you kind of grab onto her to guide her back into this little hidey hole. And Bambi, at first, all you feel is hands kind of grab onto you, which immediately starts to make you panic because you don't see Niklaus at first. You don't know that it's him. Niklaus, do you say anything to her? Do you have a an inkling that she might be the drama queen that she is?
I think just an inkling, a tiny idea of it. No, I kind of imagine it being like just instead of pulling her down forcefully, like going get down, it's more of a like just taking a couple steps over, putting his arm around her shoulder, and then just gently like re-guiding her momentum over to the hidey hole with the we're being stealthy this way.
All right. So yeah, in that case, Bambi, you do recognize past the initial start of someone making contact with you, you realize fairly quickly that it is Niklaus. So yeah, I would assume that you're more chill in that case.
Yeah,
So yeah.
Would be easily guided by Klaus.
Yep. So in that case, you are guided to the side, to the little hidey hole that they've all ducked into, or different places to kind of take cover, and successfully hide and are hidden just in case anybody is in the room. So how would you guys like to proceed?
You're
Bambi
just-
will rub her eyes and take a look.
Somebody get this girl some windshield wipers for her eyeballs. Like,
Yeah. Whoop, 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 whoop.
I'd like to look around the room. I would
Alright.
like to read the room, if you will.
sure. Roll me awareness, and the rest of you can do so as well if you would like to.
Nat 1.
Oh, Jesus.
That's an
I think
8.
Niklaus is preoccupied.
That's an 8 for Sid.
Okay,
Four
someone
for Bambi.
please. A what?
4 for Bambi.
Right.
Sorry.
So awareness. All right.
Yeah.
A whatness?
Come on, Pepper.
Awareness.
Despite the fact that
18.
you're okay, thank goodness. Despite Pepper being the only one who's like experiencing a moment right now, she's the only one of us who is aware enough to understand the surroundings. And you know what?
I would actually say that, her seeing everything as jungle and wilderness
Yeah.
and seeing people's animals and things, she's got that hunter's awareness, at least that keen awareness, like, I'm in a jungle, I could be hunted, that sort of.
Yeah.
in-
No, yeah, that's
So-
what I was gonna say as well. Like it's I would definitely chalk it up to that. So the rest of you are kind of like trying to peek around your surroundings, trying to get like a better picture of the room. And from your vantage points, you can't really see much. Pepper, you on the other hand, as you kind of peek out from where you are, you're set up in a position where you can see more of the room than everybody else can, excuse me, from their vantage points. And you do see movement at the back of the room. You can't get a definitive position on where this movement is, or rather, if it's a person, where they've stopped. You can just see very clearly the area that it is, and they seem to stay contained to that area. There's no movement outside, so it's back at the back of the room, closer to where the door into the next part of the forge would be, the reactor core, I guess, the place where you're at. But yeah, so you are the only one who sees this. The rest cannot.
All right. So I mean, I can probably report to the others. although her details are a little odd, like she's having a difficult time describing what things actually are, because she's still kind of in this episode. Though she's starting to get a little bit more clarity. She's like, okay, there's doorway. There's buttons. Is that okay? She eventually gets it all out.
So as she's trying to describe and kind of having a little more difficulty with it, Anastasia runs from where she is over to Pepper without any issue. Doesn't draw any potential attention from whatever movement there was. And she makes it over to where Pepper is, and she takes a look for herself, kind of peeks out around the corner.
And Pepper's like, careful, there was movement. There's something there. So
yeah, so she's very careful to kind of take in what she can. What exactly there is you see that this room is more so a rectangle than the last one. It's longer than it is wide. There are multiple doors that lead off to the sides of the room, and then there is a doorway at the very back. Anastasia is aware. I don't know how much Bambi would know of this particular part of the city, nor Pepper. I don't know if you guys have spent any time down here. What?
Probably not. I mean, Pepper does travel around, but Hephaestus is pretty out of the way.
Yeah.
Oh,
go ahead.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Unless there was like a good supply chain there, Pepper wouldn't have reason. So yeah.
Yeah. No, Anastasia, on the other hand, especially when things started to get like when they became at their worst, I'm under the impression that she would have studied maps of the city, just so that she would have a good idea of any escape routes, things like that, should she need them, places that would potentially be good for supplies, things like that. So I have the inkling that she would know that these hallways off the side, or these doorways off the side, are not integral to your journey. The one that you want to go to is the doorway at the back, which she will point out to the rest of the party.
Is this your way of stopping us from doing what we did last time, being like, oh, I wonder what's in door number 1? What's in door
Listen, yes, I'm saying that there are doors there and you are more than welcome to go in them. However, there is clearly a doorway at the back of the center where Anastasia points you to and says, the control room is through here. And
Let's go through that one. No, I'm kidding.
Given the nature of the situation with the alarms blaring, you guys are probably developing headaches at this point. I'm just saying that should you wish to stop the alarm and start the trains up, the door at the back of the room is the one that you are looking for.
Question.
Yes.
So that first guy that Klaus killed way back at the beginning of this area, can I go back there and just double check and make sure I got all the loot off of
Jesus
him?
Christ.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm kidding.
Just make sure that on your way back you check those other 2 bodies and make sure that they're dead.
Okay, yeah.
Because they might just get up off the ground and beat you to death, and I won't stop them.
No. Let's go through the door marked quest marker.
Okay, perfect. Good choice. That's a fantastic choice, actually. Yeah. So Anastasia does not see the movement herself. Whatever moved within Pepper's field of vision. Mr. Snuggles still wants a hug. Yes. Perfect. Whatever moved in Pepper's field of vision is quiet now. It's not moving when Anastasia is looking. So she turns to the rest of you and speaks as loudly as she can to kind of speak over the alarm, but hopefully not loud enough to draw the attention of whatever Pepper seems to have seen. And she says, so, what kind of direction would you like to go?
Welcome. Thanks so much for that raid. TPK roleplay rating with a party in 19. Thank you so much. Welcome in. I hope you all had a great stream. Thanks for that follow. Last HP hero. We are playing Exodus. It's our words. Not
Bioshock.
Bioshock. Thank you. I kept wanting to say Borderlands, but no, that's the other one. Bioshock inspired game, run by Vanessa. It's a lot of fun.
Hello.
Vanessa's currently trying to herd cats, and the party are the cats, so we're having a lot of fun.
We'll get there. It's all right.
As you were.
Yes. So Anastasia looks to you all and she says, the door is at the end of the hall here. I personally would not like to stick around to find out what is here. Maybe we can sneak our way past them and get to the door without any issues. But she gives a very distinct look to Bambi, who's like still blotting at the blood in her eyes. And kind of she looks a little resigned to the fact that that's probably not going to work out, but then she looks to everybody else for their input, and it's just like, what would you rather do? We can try our best to get to the other side without issue, but we have to go that way to turn off the alarms and to get to the control room.
Someone had to turn on those alarms, right?
I mean, I have a very good idea of who might have done that.
It's the Raven and the Vulture, obviously.
It's that weird old lady that we heard over the intercom.
Somewhere wherever Penelope is, she has like a spidey sense in the back of her head that someone just called her weird and old, and she's very angry.
So, myself being distracted and Niklaus coming off that nat 1 on looking around. What's between us and the alarm, the control room?
So as far as you can tell, the contents of this room.
Nothing.
Okay.
There's something there.
Yeah, all you know is that
Something or
Pepper is
someone
telling you
hiding.
that there's movement.
Oh, would Niklaus listen to Pepper or not?
But Niklaus
let's
is
see.
also babysitting Bambi.
That's true.
Well, you know that Pepper is very perceptive. She's crazy, but she's very perceptive. More than she should be.
And I think Niklaus is the type to not let a distaste for someone get in the way of using their abilities. So I think he'll listen. Could he take another look around?
Yeah, absolutely. Roll awareness for me.
All right, let's see if we get better than a nat 1 this time.
Actually, roll investigation because you're trying to look deeper into the room. Yeah.
Even better. That is a 15.
15.
Slightly better.
Yeah, when you peek your head out around from your vantage point again, there are various things in your way, pieces of furniture, machinery, things like that. But from where you are, you think you might be able to see a little bit of the movement that Pepper is talking about just at the very, very corner of your field of vision. It's not much and it doesn't last long, but you swear that you've seen it.
Okay. I think Niklaus will turn to the rest of them and say, perhaps some sort of diversion or some way to flush this thing out would be in order.
You have that bomb, the smoky thing. Good
I
news
suppose
is
I-
it seems Pepper's actually understanding you now.
That's good. That's true. I do have these smoke pellets that I could throw somewhere. Are you suggesting that we use it right here to cover our approach to the control room, or throw it at the movement?
Yes, I actually was just going to say that, and then I just saw your message. Could I argue, because Sid did break her radio, could I argue that she's been tinkering and fixing it this whole walk?
Given the fact that Sid has been staying out of the action overall,
Mm-hmm.
I will say yes, that she has been tinkering while staying back. So I will allow you to fix whatever damage was done
Mm-hmm.
in the last fight that it was used in, and you can certainly use it or try to use it this time as well.
Yes. Sid is going to, like, just kind of, like, lift up her radio that she has attached to her little utility belt, like, I could use this.
Yeah, so Sid, with that, the only thing that you know is that obviously with the sound of the alarms, your radio is going to be hampered a little bit. So you can either attempt to use it as a distance, and it would be less potent of a distraction, or you can try to get closer and set it off closer to where the movement is. What would you like to attempt?
Is there anything around us that I could use to make a like a sound magnifying device like thing off of, like, I don't know, maybe some fairly pliable, like maybe like a bucket or something?
Maybe a bucket. Roll for investigate.
I mean, a bucket would work.
That's a 19.
A 19. Yeah, you find something similar enough. Perhaps like a little, like a metal toolbox or something that was filled with some tools that were used at one point by somebody who worked here. It's deep enough that if you like turned it on its side, you could use that.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Can I also take those tools?
Let's see. There are in fact some tools left in it. Not very many, but you can take some. There are, I would say, like basic tools. Wrench, screwdrivers. I don't know, is there anything in particular that you would like to take?
Whatever's in it.
Okay, let me rephrase. Is there any particular tool that you're looking for?
No, Sid was just figuring that whatever tools in there she would just take, since she's emptying out the toolbox anyways.
Okay, so you take with you a small wrench, a screwdriver, and a set of pliers.
Yes.
And then you take the little metal toolbox with you.
Didn't realize I was gonna get souvenirs on this trip. Okay.
Yeah, we'll see if you get to bring those souvenirs anywhere with you by the time this is over. Don't count your chickens before they hatch.
Okay. Sorry. So Sid was doing this while Pepper and Niklaus were discussing.
Okay.
Sure. Yep.
It's like you could toss it in and then use the cover of the smoke to sneak. You could do that.
So Sid, this is where you come back with your little metal toolbox as they're discussing the smoke bombs.
I could also make a noise. Put my radio in here, magnify the sound with this toolbox, and, distract whatever it was that was over there.
It's like,
That does sound
oh.
like a wise
Sounds-
course of action.
We have
Oh,
to
no,
put
that-
it somewhere where
Wasn't a pun. I detest
Um,
puns. Klaus is very different from Raven the player, who loves puns.
So we need to put it in a place where why not we do both? Why not we do both? You do the smoky thing and then the thingy will stumble around trying to find the source of the noise, but it must be away from us.
All right. Very well then, Sid. Do place that wherever you think would be appropriate, and I will throw some smoke at it once it seems to come out of its hiding spot.
Sweet. So what should I roll to is it just stealth to try and find a place and stealthily place it in the opposite direction of where we're trying to go?
Yeah, roll stealth for me.
Ooh, excuse me.
17.
17. So you choose a place that is off to the left-hand side of the room. This is opposite, kind of diagonal from where you saw, or where Pepper saw the movement. And, I assume that Niklaus would probably guide you along those lines as well and kind of give you a rundown of where he saw the movement when he popped up. So you are able to find a nice little spot to set up the metal toolbox and to put your radio inside. Do you turn it on immediately, or?
Yep.
All right. So you set off your radio, and much as you had anticipated it would, it does amplify the sound. The radio is turned up to its full capacity, and it seems to be doing the job that it needs to do. From where Anastasia and Pepper are, they can pop up and see the movement happen again. This time coming back toward the left side rather than to the right as it had previously. So yeah, Sid, roll me a stealth again.
That is 22.
Okay, perfect. So yeah, you come back, no problem. Nothing sees you. You don't see anything in particular. But now the timer has been set, so you guys have a limited amount of time to do whatever it is you need to do to get past this. Sid, the only thing is, you're aware that at the moment, you do need to leave that radio until an opportunity presents itself to come back to it.
Mm-hmm.
So you can either decide to kill the thing that approaches it to take the radio with you, or you're gonna have to swing back. So what would you guys prefer? What's the plan?
Kill it.
No.
Does Sid announce this plan to anyone?
No.
Awesome.
Sid's waiting in the shadow with her new
So
tiny screwdriver.
yeah,
We're doing so well, you guys. Here I was thinking, wow, we're gonna stealth through a room for once. This is new. This is exciting.
Do you know who you're talking to?
so actually Pepper actually tries. She's like, okay, do your smoky thing, and we move fast.
See,
As
Sid's
soon
thing
as
is. Sorry.
Niklaus is just gonna say, as soon as I see it, I will shoot the smoke pellet at it.
Does anybody?
Sorry, no, Sid,
Yeah.
I honestly would have gone the stealth route, but then I was like, but wait, wouldn't it be more trouble if we had to come and swing back around and fight it then?
I mean, if Sid asks, I'm pretty sure Niklaus's answer would be like, I will buy you a new radio.
Oh no, this is a very
Andy's
important
ability
idea.
to
So,
stealth is
Just
karma.
as player information, I'm gonna direct your attention to the map. Oh, I actually didn't include it in the map. Never mind. Never mind me. It's fine. Continue. Kill your things. I thought I was gonna give you guys an easy out, but I decided not to because I'm mean.
Yes.
Okay, that's cool. So, as the sound goes off, do we see whatever this is moving towards the sound?
Yes.
Smoke bomb! We're gonna
Okay.
Use Niklaus's cane smoke bomb launcher and shoot it in the thing's general direction.
So, for my radio, because it's my personal item, do I need to roll another stealth check to get the roll with advantage to attack? Or does my stealth tech check from before count as it?
Yeah, no, that checks from before. You're
Okay,
good.
sweet.
So would you say that checks out?
So that's
Certainly does, Raven. Certainly does. That checks out. That's a great pun there, darling. It absolutely does check out. Thank you for your input. Certainly does check out. Thank you.
would I add strength to that if I'm actually I'm gonna use my flamethrower. So that would be accuracy. That's an 11.
So you do get to roll with advantage on attack.
Yeah, I rolled twice. I got an 11 and a 10.
Go ahead and roll again.
We don't even know what this thing is yet.
13.
Oh my
Toasty
god.
is what it is.
So with a 13, Niklaus, what is your smoke bomb made of? Like, is it what are the components that go into it?
Trying to remember what we said was in it. Sodium something. Oh crap! What was it? Because we like Googled it and everything.
Yeah. I'm wondering if it's flammable. That's my main concern.
Totally not Googling it super fast. Okay, smoke bomb you'd purchase from a fireworks store usually is made from potassium chlorate, sugar, sodium bicarbonate, that was the one, and
Yes.
a powdered organic dye. Sugar is not really flammable, but it does caramelize. I don't know if any of those things are flammable. Potassium
Okay,
chlorate
that's
is
fine.
an oxidizer, so I don't think it's flammable. No.
Okay. So Sid, yeah, you use your flamethrower. You don't know exactly where it is. The smoke bomb is set off. The area fills with smoke rather quickly. You do see movement within the cloud. You do not see exactly where it is, but you fire in the general direction. Let me just see what I have here. because, we can't have nice things, of course not. So let me just pull up my stats table.
Smoke bomb.
Ooh, seven.
I mean, I do have something that's flammable that I could throw at it.
If you can pinpoint it, then certainly. But Sid, when you fire into the cloud of smoke, you do seem to singe something, as is indicated by the loud string of obscenities that emits from the smoke cloud. Wow, the smoke cloud. But then that's it. You don't see any more movement. All right. I'm trying to figure out the best way to go about this because, I would like for you guys to get to the next round.
Me too.
We just take forever.
Is Niklaus still holding on to Bambi?
Like loosely, yeah. Not so much holding as just like having a hand on.
Bambi would like to bolt and sprint for the opening on the other side of the room where
Yeah,
they're
go
supposed to be going.
Move us forward! Do it! Do it!
What would you like me to roll for that?
So she just wants to make a straight beeline for the door, is it?
Correct.
Swiftness.
Oh, good. I have a little bit in that. Nine!
Alrighty.
These rolls. It's high or low today.
Ooh. All right, this is interesting. My first nat 20 of the session.
Fuck!
So, Sid, as the smoke started to fill the space, Sydney, you fired your flamethrower into this cloud, based solely on the small amount of movement that you had seen before. And like we said, you managed to at least singe somebody by their reaction. Bambi, while this is happening, you start to make a run for the other side, and you do not see to your right side, opposite of where the smoke was, that there's a splicer lying in wait. As you go past. Hold on, let me do some rolls and stuff. Do you guys have any, okay, well, while I'm doing this, do you guys have any reactions to Bambi bolting?
I mean, Pepper will probably be like, what? And then follow. Like, she's got the right idea. Like, why?
If Bambi's bolting towards the control room, then yeah, Niklaus is right behind.
Yeah. And so are them dogs.
Okay. So Bambi goes first, and then Niklaus, and the dogs. Does Pepper go with the dogs?
Yeah, the dogs are like right at Pepper's heels.
Okay. And then naturally seeing Pepper go, Anastasia comes up the rear. None of you have seen the secondary splicer that's hiding to the right side of the room, which allows Bambi and Niklaus to shoot ahead. But springs in between and cuts off Anastasia and Pepper from the other two, as Sid is kind of like enveloped in this smoke. And he kind of makes a swing at Pepper, who's in the front. And Pepper, if you would like to roll dodge for me, please.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, that is dodge 10. Not very good.
No. So you get a solid fist straight to the side. I rolled an 18, so it's a pretty substantial hit. And like I said, you do not see this coming at all. He was very, very well hid on that side. After seeing the smoke cloud come up, he had actually retreated from that direction and kind of poked into a little hidey hole, the same as you had, to see kind of what was going to happen. So, Pepper, you take 6 points of damage.
Oof. Straight to the
Yeah.
face.
Big
Like,
oof.
crack my nose. So that means I'm gonna do this 24 out of 30.
Okay. So you're still okay. You're, you know.
Little days, but all right.
Yeah, it was quite the smack, quite the connection. But you're not in the red yet, so you're good. Yeah, so Bambi and Nate Klaus, you guys are running. Do you notice that the other two that were behind you are now not behind you?
Nope. Bambi
Nope.
is literally booking it to the doorway. Like your
Same.
life depends on it.
Okay,
Sorry.
and Sid, what about you? So you've initially set off this blast of fire with your flamethrower. What do you do afterwards?
I just want to make sure that this splicer is incapacitated so I can have my radio back. So, I guess I would move closer to the sound of the radio and see if I hit a splicer.
Okay, are you still using your flamethrower?
Yes.
Okay. I'm just trying to see if we decided on how we were going to manage your flamethrower ammo.
I could also use my new screwdriver.
Totally up to you. Yeah, so you move closer to the cloud of smoke. If you would like to roll awareness for me.
Okay. Nat 20!
Yay!
Nice.
Oh.
Let's see. Yeah. So the splicer kind of has an idea of where you are, but it doesn't match up to the way you've pinpointed where they are. So before they have a chance to really process, you are completely on top of them, right there, toe to toe, and you can attack with whatever you like.
Ooh.
If you choose to do so.
I want to act quickly, so I'm just going to use what's already in my hands, which is the flamethrower. If I still have ammo. I've used it 5 or 6 times. I don't know how many times you want to say before I have to reload.
That's a good question. We will give you 2 more uses out of this before you need to come up with more ammunition for it.
I'm gonna burn his face or her face. I'm gonna burn their face.
All right. So you are able to just blast this splicer at this range. There's absolutely no question whether you hit or not. This guy's gone up in flames. You can roll me 2d6, please.
Ooh. Are you serious? Seriously? It's only 3 damage. 2d6, only 3 damage.
Oh, no.
Do we have a D6 to add to that?
We do
I mean,
have
we
3d6
could,
for the cast.
I don't know if I'd want to use it on this.
Do it.
Okay.
You can use a d6 if you would like.
Okay, that's 8.
Ooh. Okay. Let me assess my map here. Okay. All right. So here we have this splicer on fire. You are able to successfully scoop that radio back up. So you are now in possession of your radio once again. This splicer is a little strange in the way that he reacts to being set on fire. He certainly does scream, just as the others before him have. The wonderful legacy is passed down of screaming when set on fire. But he seems to be laughing as well in between those screams. And he flails his arms widely, trying to get you as well, but you're able to scoop up your radio and kind of take a few steps back, no problem. So that he is unable to really get much of you.
Can I try tripping him as I move out of the way?
What skill check was it that you rolled the nat 20 on? I literally just asked you for it and then I forgot.
Awareness. It was awareness.
Awareness, right. Okay, you can definitely try to sweep the leg. Skillfulness for me, please.
Do you leave me?
That's a 19.
A 19. Just give me 1 second. Okay, yeah, you're able to do so. He's too preoccupied with being set aflame that you're able to sweep the leg and trip him up.
Sweet ass.
Yeah, do you continue to attack? Like, is your intention to stay there, or do you retreat again?
No, I'm just leaving. I have my radio.
Okay, cool. So you are now in the camp with Pepper and Anastasia, who are blocked off from progressing. Pepper has been knocked around a little bit, so she's
Little
kind of... What?
She's a little dazed.
Yeah, a little dinged up. And you notice that Bambi and Niklaus are not here. And that's where we're going to end today.
No. Okay.
Love it.
Did you have ideas, Yasmin?
No. Nothing that couldn't be resolved in the next few minutes.
Okay, well, write them down, keep a hold of them,
Okay.
and we'll do that first thing next time.
All right. I'm gonna lose them. I'm not gonna lie.
Put it in the Exodus Discord room.
There you go.
Then we can look it up later.
All right. If I remember to do
goodness.
it, I will.
Well, before we go on a raid, yes, that's the one. That's the one, Jay. Raid cry is claw your eyes out like you're cray cray. Before we go on a raid with that raid cry, let's let everybody talk about their favorite part, where we can find them, and all that good stuff. Cute kitty.
I
Let's
got a
start
kitty,
with.
guys.
He's so cute. Vanessa, what was your favorite part? Where can we find you next? And anything else you'd like to share?
My favorite part, I don't know, there's always so many unexpected good parts that come from just the unexpected turns that come from this party all the time. So I don't think I can pick a favorite one today. Just the the effort that was put in to move on, only to be split up of my own accord, even though I was the one that was trying to get you guys to move on.
I tried.
Yeah.
I know, and thank you so much for doing that. But apparently, the dice decided that the nat 20 was going to go to this one. So yeah, but I've just been enjoying it. I don't know. It feels like we pack so much into these sessions, even though we don't we're not going from location to location to location. It's very centralized, but it feels like we still get a lot done, which is pretty interesting. A lot of different character interactions and stuff like that. So I think overall,
Yeah.
just the players and the banter and stuff like that is my favorite.
Aw.
Yeah. But as for where you can find me next, I will be here on Saturday for more Animus. I promise I'll actually be there this time. And then again next Wednesday for more Exodus as well.
Awesome. Next, let's hop over to Riley. What was your favorite part? Where can we find you? And anything else you want to share?
My favorite part wasn't related to the game, but I really enjoyed the hype train. That was
Yeah,
fun.
that was a lot of fun.
That was
That
a lot of fun.
was.
That was really cool.
I really enjoyed that. And then for the game, I just really love yeah, like Vanessa was saying, character interactions, and I love the world building that Vanessa does for us and like how she sets the scene for us. I feel like I'm there every week.
Yeah.
You can find me next on Saturday for Animus as well. Also, I have some new stuff. I've updated my website, as well as I have stickers on there available for anybody that were designed by Yaz. And then also I have a new logo for my sub brand, which is Fiberbard, designed by Raven. So super cool stuff. And I'll link to that in the chat.
Awesome. Rowan, what was your favorite part? Where can
Yeah,
we
the
find you? And all that good
that-
stuff.
The hype train was especially fun. Yeah, that was fun to be a part of that and egg it onward, so to speak.
Y'all are too much. I appreciate it.
Aw, well, you deserve it, and this is your income, so yeah. Then man, yeah, they're densely packed. Densely packed episodes. I love Nicholas just coming up like, hey, I've got this able for you. Like, idiot. I know that he's probably experimenting and whatever, but literally I was there like, you don't do that. If you want, at the very least, at least maybe like toss it towards him and watch them go crazy over it. I don't know. So yeah, that was fun. So where you can find me, I will you'll find me next Wednesday, and find me at my website. My brain is completely fried at this point. I am so sorry. You find me on my website, which is right here. I have a sale running until Thursday on my handmade watercolors and all the other things like art dolls and paintings and things. So please check that out. And yeah.
All right. Next, Yaz, what was your favorite part? Where can we find you? And anything else you want to share?
My favorite part that wasn't the hype train, hands down, had to be Bambi coercing somebody to gouge their own eyes out. claw your eyes out like you're cray cray. Just because I love the capacity that Bambi has for violence, and that just it tickles me. You can find me
that's
next
funny.
here on Friday, DMing for Neon Devils, the
So
urban
excited.
fantasy, and we're getting pretty close to the end. Depending on how players play, we could be wrapping this up in a couple of sessions. Hopefully, we'll be wrapping it up in a couple of sessions. Otherwise, you can find me. I've started streaming on my own channel, Bodalia, for art, or on my website, www.studio-tart.com. I'll put that in the chat as well, or on my Kickstarter, which I've promoted plenty enough. I'll promote it on Friday. It'll be fine. So you'll just get my website for now.
All right. That just leaves me my favorite part. I really appreciate the hype train as well. That means a lot. I think that's our first one that we've ever had, and we got all the way up to level 5, so that was amazing. Thank you all very much. Endgame stuff. I really enjoyed the Niklaus is trying to drug this splicer that's attacking us, and Sid just comes up and just like, poke, blood sample. And Niklaus is just like, why now? That was fun. I really enjoyed that particular moment, but the whole game was amazing. The whole session was great. You can find me next Friday for Neon Devils at noon Mountain Time right here, and then I'll be producing School Days at 6 Mountain Time the same day, which is a masks game where the party are all like high school superheroes. This is really cool stuff. And then Saturday 6 p.m. Mountain Time for more Animus. Aside from that, I've got some links to throw in chat. There's my link tree, and then also big thank you to sponsors. Grinding Coffee Company. If you go to grindingcoffee.co, use the code RAVVYN, you get 13% off your order there. And then also check out Fundamental RPG and Intrepid. Intrepid's my brand for IRL adventuring gear. There's a bunch of really cool stuff, and I'm going to be adding stuff this week that is D&D class related, and it's going to look really, really cool. I've got a lot of the design elements already done, and I'm just going to be putting them together on shirts and jackets and a bunch of stuff like that. It's going to be awesome, so definitely check that out. Keep your eyes open on Twitter for my announcements on that. And then we've got our raid cry right there. Feel free to copy and paste that as we go raid Pat, aka Attacktrick. He's doing the Spare Brigade, which is a Lancer campaign. It's a relatively new campaign. It's really cool stuff. Definitely check that out. And if my window will refresh, there we go. All right, awesome. So thank you again, everybody, and I will see you all on Friday. Bye, everybody.
Oh, but before we go, just for the benefit of the players, I'd just like to draw your attention to the updated Game Master thumbnail, and that's all I'm going to say. See you guys.
Yes, it looks very nice. All right, bye, everybody.